Yep, I think we are live. I'm sorry for some delay and some technical constraints. I hope that you can see us. I hope everything is okay out there with you if you're joining the stream now. There's been a lot of delays and a lot of setbacks and no idea, but I hope that we will make it, even though we're going to keep it really short because the technique is not really at its best tonight. So if you're joining, please let me know. And we're sorry that it's not going to be streamed on Facebook, only on YouTube. Yeah, so I can already see a couple of 7 people watching. So everything is good. Everything is good. So give me a sign out there. And we keep losing Dr. Tony JAJA. Dr. Tony, are you there?
Yes, Suzanne.
Okay, but we can't see you again. Your camera is just, you're just black. Yes, now it's better. It's better now. How you doing? I think we're not going to waste a lot of time into this show because the technique is really just not cooperative tonight. We've been switching on all the applications up to now, and this is the best that we could deliver today. So please stay tuned with us. And like I said, I must apologize for those that would have been watching on our Facebook platforms today because, yes, we just have to do this live now. I hope if we would not keep it up longer, that we'll be able to reschedule this show because this is a very relevant topic. It's been long. We haven't had Dr. Tony JAJA here, our ambassador or peace ambassador for Eastern Horn of Africa, and we lose him again. Dr. JAJA, your camera is off again, and I cannot see you. It's really not appealing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just so sorry, dear Pan-African, for keeping you all waiting. But like I can say, it's not our fault. It's not even Dr. Tony's fault. It's not neither mine, but the technique is just acting up somehow. So let's dive into the topic of today, which is about Africa's leadership. We want to talk about, the conflicts on the continent and the peace process going on, and even, the COVID and its restraints to all this topic. I don't know any other person that is really competent and apt to talk about these issues, even the United Nations Security Council and Africa. No other expert could give us a relevance on this topic like Dr. Tony JAJA, who has been a regular visitor or guest on this show, and the Pan-African Daily TV is almost his home. Not almost, but his home. Of course, we're also going to look into some aspect like what is the new, what is Joe Biden's, Excellency Joe Biden's presidency? How is it going to impact Africa? How is it going to impact the change, particularly the conflicts on the continent and the new agenda? Yes. So welcome to the show, Dr. Tony JAJA. I keep just losing him. I'm telling you, it's so crazy. As you can see for yourself, that's why we are just so late on time today, because we've been trying to get him all the way live from Sudan. And yeah, technique is not really cooperative today, probably because they know that we have a very important topic to discuss with Dr. Tony JAJA tonight. And I hope we would keep switching and just getting him on. One thing we want to handle is actually, we know Dr. Tony JAJA as the peace ambassador for Eastern Horn of Africa, and he's been so influential in the peace processes going on. Now, we heard the AU had announced the silencing of the guns in 2020, but because of the pandemic, there are a lot of excuses going out there. But also, we wanted to hear his opinion about the single candidate of the AU chairperson commission. Yes, the whole title is just like you need to break it into pieces. And so it's so sad if we would not have Ambassador JAJA here. It's really sad. Thank you so much, Nyamsika. You say you're loving my hair. Yeah, love my afro. I love my afro as well. And yeah, I can never do without my afro. I can't. I mean, I've been missing it a couple of days where I had to, take care of it, kind of like redo it, comb it. It's a whole work as you see our hair, our hair, the melanated hair is not really, if, particularly if we want to keep it natural and get the fresh look, you know. Yes, I just hope I would be able to get our guest for tonight. Please call on all the God of our ancestors to be here because this topic we're gonna handle it tonight. I guarantee you. And if we're not gonna have, oh, Ambassador Jaja, are you there? Let's just dive into the topic, please. How are you feeling? What is going on out there? Hello?
Yeah, I don't know what is happening with your. I don't know what is happening with the TV now.
Yeah, we keep losing you. I'm on all the time, but you keep going out. I think your connection has something that is not really working. Anyway, now you're here. Let's go into the topic. How have you been? What is happening on the continent in terms of peace and the conflicts?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what is happening. So, you hearing me all?
I hear you, but your camera keeps blacking out and on, but now you're on. Just go ahead. Let's see. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
just want to say thank you, Susan Tata, for bringing me back again after some time now. This has been a while since 2020, and it has been a crazy year for all of us, as we know, in Africa and in the whole world. And thank you for bringing me back.
Hmm. I. We can't
So
hear
it's
you.
really,
No, we can't hear you. You keep
yeah,
breaking. Oh my God, this is
yeah,
so.
because even I'm not hearing it well. It's just cutting voices there. So your voice, even I'm not hearing well, and then the camera go off and in, just like that.
From your part, Dr. Tony, our part we're setting. I've been here and it's working. I don't know. Can you just try? It's your internet really strong out there where you're sitting?
Yeah, because it's just connecting again and connecting again. So it's going off and in.
It should be the power on your side is not really strong. Try and let's see if we can get some information from you out there. But if
Yeah,
it's just
it's not helpful. It's not helpful to, yeah, it's not helpful. The Zoom one is not helpful like the other belief stream.
I think it's just a system problem tonight, Dr. Dada, Tony. It's not even just only about that. All right, I think if it wouldn't happen the way we want it, we would reschedule because it's really unappealing, honestly. And to handle a topic like what we want to do today with you, it's sad. It's really sad, and we cannot just be chopping and coming in and going out like that. That's not the Africa that we want, isn't it? Hmm.
So can we apologize to audience and then we fix it? Is that okay?
I think it would be okay. Maybe we reschedule you for Sunday. Is it okay? Because right now, from all indications that I'm seeing, even with the B Live that we try to go on, they won't give us access. And even on Zoom that we're just even trying, which is not our platform, but the same story is going on your side.
Yeah,
You keep losing you.
because Zoom, yeah, because Zoom, I think Zoom sometimes it just go off and go on. So it's a problem now. We cannot be able, even I'm not seeing you, you are just seeing me on your side. I'm not seeing you even.
All right. Do you have time on Sunday? Are you available on Sunday, Dr. Tony Jaja? Okay. Yeah,
Susan.
I'm getting feedback that it is a problem from YouTube because there's a follower saying even in the US it keeps buffering. So like on and off. So all right, I think we'll not be able to get Ambassador Jaja today. From every indication, so it's gonna be just just the way it is, as you see. It is unfortunate that Dr. Tony, we will have to reschedule you. And I hear it's a YouTube general problem, not just from us. And I've also been seeing indications and even in my
Oh,
WhatsApp chat that people saying YouTube has been acting up the whole of today. Probably we didn't have to get that here. Okay. So,
no, we can, yeah, we can apologize today to our audience, wherever they are in the whole continents, and then we can see another time that we can set another time where fix things well.
are you available on Sunday?
Yes, I'm available.
Okay, can we do that on Sunday? Like the audience is already watching you, they know that we'll be carrying over this show onto Sunday. Is that okay?
Yes, okay. Yeah, Sunday is okay. Sunday is okay.
All right. Thank you so much. All the way live from Sudan on the Africa. We wish you a safe time out there, and we see ourselves on Sunday, same time or earlier. Is that okay? Okay. All right. I think that is it. I would just have to open up the show and we take some questions and answers and donations. Not only donations, your contribution here, as it is really impossible to get Ambassador Jaja on this show tonight. So I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to do now. It is so sad. It's really sad. But you that are watching me right now, you already hear that we're going to have him on Sunday. We're going to have him on Sunday, same time or earlier. So watch out. Tomorrow we're going to have Ambassador Arikana and his team and her team from the ADDI. You see, I'm just off spring now because of, we've planned a very wonderful evening and a nice show to share with you. Ambassador Jaja has taken all his time for the first time in this year, 2021, to share some very important information going on the continent, particularly the conflicts, be it in Central African Republic or in the Amazonian conflict, or even in Sudan and Ethiopia and Uganda. All these uprisings that we've been having at the beginning of the year, Dr. Tony was here to crack down and give us really pertinent and what do I want to say, authentic and original information right there at his decks on the continent, because he's been involved in all these conflicts and the situation going on. And even he wanted to give us an overview of what we should expect of the new US presidency now and their policy on the continent, because there's already some indications on some changes, even though we haven't heard from Excellency Joe Biden officially his projects for Africa or his plan for Africa 2021. But Dr. Tony Jaja was here actually to give us a little bit of an orientation, what they're already anticipating could that Africans should start expecting dealing that are currently, at the helm or at the helm of the whole world. So I don't know what we have to do because the topic is already now unraveling in another sector that I can't really just say, but I would open up the lines very soon, and so let's just have a one-on-one conversation, you and I. When things happen like this, I profit a lot to connect to you, which is very unusual, as you know, very, very unusual. So I would open up the line, please. Yes, Dr. Sumtende is saying we need to get the satellite. Yes, and I have very good news that is coming up concerning the satellite, and we might have a sponsor, a great lady from the continent who is just saying that, yes, I know it's going to take us centuries before we even get one. The level at which we think that the donations are coming in, maybe we should just keep on that pace, but she is trying to see if she can step in, and push it further and make it easier or faster for us to get the satellite. So I had this conversation with her 2 weeks ago, and we're just waiting. I say I can break something that I don't know, But I'm just saying, just maybe the queens are going to do something this time, to give us the platform which we can share. And as you see, it's gloomy. Look at the colors. Look at the studio. Everything is just so sad. That's not the Pan African Daily TV that we know, isn't it? But of course, it's still a pleasure to sit here on this Friday evening and exchange conversations with you. How are you feeling out there? This is 2021. And do you see Africa in 6 months making a move? Look at the situation in Uganda. The situation in Uganda, we're not seeing any head. I mean, this is what we thought the pandemic came to change some stuff, meaning human beings are already aware of the existence of life. We are so conscious to the extent that we know that what matters now is life. What matters is life, not even the money, not even the job, because our health is already put on the test. We've seen a lot of people, thousands, millions just die away in the pandemic, and it's not even getting better. So we are expecting that conflicts and bullets should even be silenced in a critical state like this. But it's just not happening. We just saw the example of Uganda. We just saw the example of the Yorubas and the Fulanese or the Igbos in Nigeria. We just saw even other uprisings, and we're not seeing anything as if the pandemic even meant something to human lives. So, what is your opinion about it? Is it this time that people are just like, you know what, enough of all this? The world has taught us that the only thing that matters now is that you're alive. And so if you're not alive, you can make a change. Nevertheless, we still see all these things going on. So what are we going to do about it? Kofi is saying, our beautiful Queen Efwa, when are you going to have Dr. J back here? Now, which Dr. J are you talking about? Are you talking about Dr. Jeffries that we had yesterday, or Dr. JAJA who was just here? I already said we're going to have Ambassador Tony JAJA on Sunday, and he confirmed with us live here in the studio that, he's going to be with us here. So I also have a comment here from Nyamesika saying, is it not AU Commission Chair election on Sunday? Yes, if Sunday is the 7th of February, which I think that is the day where we're going to be having that AU chair. But of course, we've also seen, I personally can testify that I've been seeing a lot of letters that some very prominent people, I'm not going to call their names here, have been writing out there and actually sounding or trying to reason with the presidents out there. We just hope that they're going to do the right thing. They're going to stand to the democracy that they all believe in, and the praising, and always using them on their agendas. Like, no, we are respecting the democracy process or the democratic processes, whatever. So yeah, if that's not going to be the case in the AU chairperson commission election on Sunday, then we have a long way to go. We don't know what kind of leadership we're going to trust again on the continent. And exactly this point is what we really wanted to talk today, to have a conversation on with Tony JAJA. It's sad. It's really sad. Anyway, that is the point. We know we need our satellite. But what do you think? What is it that from the past conversations that we've been having, particularly the one we yesterday with Dr. Leonard Jeffries? I mean, I really think that we cracked it, and I think personally that we are on the right track if we would start getting this kind of, I mean, what do I say? Sensitive. Some people say sensitive information, but I think it is authentic. I don't see anything sensitive about us knowing about our history, knowing about our culture, and even knowing about what happened to some of the great leaders and voices that we know on the continent. Why were they silent? What are the mistakes they also did? We should also look into some of these voices, be it Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, or Marcus Garvey, or Haile Selassie, or Muammar Gaddafi, or Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara. We should be at the extent of not just only saying because now they're gone, now we start waving all the flags. What we are trying to put in place is to look at what are also the mistakes that they did, so that when the newcomers are coming up now, they should not make those mistakes. And I think Dr. Leonard Jeffries made some remarks on some of the mistakes that they did, that we could learn from it, or the next generation could learn from it. Most often, we don't hear that. It is not articulated, it's not been stipulated to say, let us look at this politics. Yes, there were big voices, and some of the projects that they actually put out there, absolutely okay. That's why we're looking up to them and following them. But what is it that, what is also that they made that we could learn from? Are there some mistakes that we should learn from? It is the same thing like even in the AU, and all this election. What is the mistakes, the biggest mistakes that they're doing? But it doesn't mean that they're also not doing some very good work. Sure, it would not be existing. That structure would not be. Doesn't matter whether they're just there drinking coffee, tea parties, and holding conferences or something. I believe there's been some work, and we also see it. There's been some work holding, or also these negotiations, particularly with this high-end Western, I don't know, system. It's not easy. It's not easy, and so probably we should also be looking at what are the good things that the AU and its leadership, these presidents, have been able to do. What is it that they haven't done? What haven't they achieved? What is it that the new generation can learn from it? In most cases, everyone is going to say, oh, corruption, the need for them not to hand over power to the next generation. But of course, I still hear some critics say, or comments, or we sit down and thinking like, maybe it's just not easy. Maybe it's just not easy. It's easy to I mean, look at the case of Uganda, and you look at the business partners. We're calling them this time business partners, not even, we say collaborations or whatever, or developmental. What kind of terms we haven't heard from these people? Hmm? All right, let's just say they are business partners. And you look at Uganda, everyone knows that they were being supported by the US. And now, what happens that the US would also support the presidential candidate? Like, if they don't want you again, I mean, you're getting old now, so let's look for someone else and continue doing the same thing, right? So it's just a thought. It's just an idea, maybe, but it might not just be wrong. So let us get to that point where we think, not just only hamper on that. Maybe we should be more, what I want to say, put our anger and our emotions a little bit under the table and look at it in the face and say, this is what they did that we think is right. This is what should be corrected. Be it from the AU, be it from the present elections that are coming up on Sunday. What is it that if they would do the same things they used to do, and the chairperson is going to be there? So we have 4 more years. And if we have 4 years, 4 years is just like 4 months. We saw it happen. What is it that we should start working against 4 years? So these are all reflections that I think that in the meantime, we could do our homework. We could do our homework in the situation in Nigeria. Still not getting better. People still just not talking about it. They're trying to, pacify it, put a dummy in their mouth, and they'll be there thinking that something is going to happen. Before you know it, it's just exploding and people dying. Look at the situation in Southern Cameroon. I mean, in the past couple of days or 2 days ago, we saw the Pope or the head of the Catholic Church visit. Now, what are we anticipating? What are we expecting to see? What kind of peace processes that will be taking place there? I miss Dr. Tony JAJA because he was the right man to crack out these things tonight. I know he's going to be here on Sunday, save the date, but it's the same spirit that we already had here tonight. Hey, people, it's not going to be the same thing. I can tell you that. He really was already heated up and would have been having a very nice conversation here. Let me hear from you. What is it that you think that we are going to ameliorate on? Or maybe just post some questions that you would like Dr. Tony JAJA to answer when he would be up. When he will be up on Sunday running. Dr. Sumtende Chaba says they failed the Africa would have sold Africa to France, like they failed in the Africa. She's talking about the AU has failed. They sold Africa to France. So there's nothing absolutely good talking about them. And what I'm just going through the chats to try and see. I mean, call in the studio and let's have the conversation. If you're tired or you say, okay, we were just waiting for our guest, then let's maybe make it a date and we see ourselves on Sunday. What do you think? Call in. The lines are open and let's have a conversation. Let's share this wonderful time. I'd already planned these 2 hours to have this conversation until Technique was, acting up. So, what is your opinion? What is it that you would like to hear on African leadership and the conflicts? What is it that you would like to know? What kind of strategies are they using? Now we're seeing that even Sudan, Ethiopia is almost at war with Sudan. And we're asking, what is going on? I mean, I actually did not get the fact right. And I don't want to just ramble here and say something that I don't know. So I better just shut up and we wait for him to, to come up. Um, what am I seeing here? I see El Hadi Ibrahim. You're saying that, yeah, Queen, you look lovely. Of course, we all do. Koboko Sas saying no contact with the Chinese and the West. Full stop. Wow, Koboko, you are hitting. No contact with the Chinese. Full stop and the West. All right. I mean, why not? It's doable. Who said that? Somebody said here, let's just shut the blinds of Africa to the world, get into ourselves in the darkness that we are, look at ourselves, look at our systems, clean the whole of Africa, and then we open up those blinds to the world and say, okay, now you stand at the door. Where you coming from? China? We look at the checklist, okay? Where you coming from? This. Why not? If pandemic can shut down the world, so we can shut down Africa, isn't it? Can Africa not go on a lockdown to the world? When the world opens, we shut down Africa and take ourselves about some 2 years to groom ourselves, learn our languages, learn our culture and our history, change every system, and then open up the world. I mean, we're not going to die of hunger. That's for sure. We have just so much, and we know that we can. We can. Yes, we are having technical problems, my brother. We're having technical problems. That's why we can't have our guest here with us tonight. You saw how he was struggling. Oh, my brother Ikena from Austria. Thank you, Alisa. I have a first caller to share this evening with me. Hello. Hello. Wow. There must be some serious serious problems out there. Even the calls are not connecting. Yep, it's not connecting. Wow. This is serious. Ain't we sure that the systems are going to shut us out again? Yeah. It's so sad. We can get the calls are coming in, but it won't connect. I think this is an issue. Thank you so much, Felicia Brown. You said that's a fantastic idea, Doctor. Close down Africa. Yes, why not? Let us shut down Africa. You understand? If the whole world can be in a lockdown now, we can lock down Africa, when the world opens and we just manage ourselves, feed ourselves, develop our medicines, develop our educational systems, our agricultural systems, our economy, our money, and everything. And then we open up to the world and say, okay, let's see how we do about that. What about that? Can we function without them? Because the pandemic is showing and they showing us that it's as if we cannot function. So what if the world just shut up for Africa and let's see how the world evolve without us? What about that? Good idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. It is. Yes, we can. We can do it by ourselves. Calls are not coming in. We cannot take them. Do the Africans have the capability of manufacturing their own technology support and a strong military that is what is necessary? That's a question from JE. Yes, JE, of course. If we shut down Africa, we would develop all those things. Right now, we're still looking, can we have this? Can we not have this? Just because the luxury is there. What if we don't have? We will learn to keep what we have. Hello? Hello?
Hello, my queen. Hello, everyone.
Thank you, Kobako Sauce. At least, I mean, I'm happy your call is going through. How are you, Queen? Fine, thank you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to try because you said the call then was coming.
Yes.
Okay, let me see. I'm in Europe. Let me see if we have the same problem. So that's why I was calling. And then just to comment a little bit, as you said, if Africa can lock down, I think, honestly speaking, we can manage. The only thing is, maybe people say, oh, we always fault our leaders, we fault. Yes, always in life, we have to fault somebody. Always, we have to fault somebody. If something not go good, it's because somebody did not do it good. I'm sorry to say this, but that is true. I think our leaders, they are selfish. They don't think about us. They think just by themselves, and they don't know one day they will die, and we will forget about them. Just simple. India Amin Dada, look at him. The only thing I can remember for India Amin is when he said, I had a dream, and the Lord told me to kick the Indians out of Africa. And he get up and he kicked them out. And the Queen Elizabeth take all of them, put them in the area here in London called Southwark. You understand me? At least he acted. He had a dream, he kicked them out. Fine, he do so many things bad, okay. But at least he had a dream and he worked upon his dream. And all these other ones, what type of dream they have? Just to steal the money, if them borrow money, look after you people. I think our leaders now, I will just pull few of them. They don't have love for them people. We can manage. Believe me, my brothers and sisters, my kings and queens who is listening, we African, we can manage. If we had a good leaders, say, okay, we want to learn about agriculture, where other countries do agriculture. Latin America, they have a very technique of agriculture. Africa too have a good technique. If you want to learn more, take 10 a student, send them to Latin America. Take another 10, send them in this Sweden to go and learn how to do chocolate. Send another one. All what you want African to do, you have a brave people. We are clever and we pick things quickly with the Africans. You understand me? Send all your children around the world, and when they finish, let them come back home and then bring that knowledge and teach the brothers and sisters. We don't need to beg for the world. These people calling us third world country, are we feeding the first world country? Now tell me, who is the third world country here? Third world country feeding the first world. And these people call us dead because of our leaders, and maybe because of some of us where we don't have that courage. These people, they always have the gut to call us third world country. How can somebody is third world country and have all the resources? Why our leaders, they're not asking advice for people who know and love them people and come together, so when they die, we can put a statue for them. We will remember them. But I want all of them to hear me. All these old papa, all of them, from the north, the west, the center. I'm sorry to say this and apologize before I say it. We know we remember you leaders, because what are you doing to us? You're giving us hell. You understand me? Hell. We can manage. You understand? A sister, we African, we can manage. Just give you a little sample, sister. I came in this country without no knowledge, but at least good or bad, they asked me, Consuelo. When I came in this country, the first job I have is phlebotomist. That means I'm going to the lab, get all my equipment, go on the ward in the hospital and take blood. I never go to school for medical school. I never do anything. But the Englishman gave me opportunity. Fine, come send me with another qualified nurse. I went on the ward, then teach me how to take simple blood for somebody. I did that for many years. Then I started doing another courses which I want, and then give me the opportunity. If I go to Africa now, I tell them I can take blood, they will ask me, where is your qualification? Where is your PDAG? Where is your... They will go and take Chinese, where they don't know if it stands for depression. You see, our leaders, my queen, they don't give us the opportunity. We know quite a lot. We African. If all the people who listen to me, we have people in this country where they come, maybe with no qualification, because this Europe give us that little opportunity, we start growing up. We go to college, others we go to university, we do our this. It's like that. You understand me? And all of us, if our leader can say, okay, all my children around the world, when they know these doctors, Ghanaian doctors and Nigerian doctor, my queen, I will tell you, if the people who listen to me, they want to say, they will say, if you go to the hospital in the UK, them doctors will cost you for that day, hey, they're African. Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, or 8 of them. 8 of them. The nurses, I don't want to tell you. The cleaners, I don't want to tell you. So, we have enough knowledge to look after our country. We don't need the world, but it's our leaders. Make it short. I finish. This is the last one. Nigeria. Nigeria is the heart of Africa. I always call Nigeria the big border of Africa. Right now, some story is going around. This gentleman who lived in America for 30 years came to visit his family in Nigeria. These people, Boko Haram, I don't know what, they now killed the man and has ransom for 10 million Nigerians naira for the family. The family and then go and kill the person. You think that's fair? You think that's fair? And the government is not doing anything? So I'm an African. I can speak for Nigeria. I can speak for Ghana. I can speak for anywhere I want.
Correct.
I'm African.
Yes.
Okay? That's it.
Ah.
That's it, my queen. It's very sad. You know? Sad.
It is.
It's very sad.
It is.
That's all, my queen.
Thank you very much.
That's all.
Thank you.
All I wanted to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Yes. At least we had that call come in, and that was a very good signal that at least we're having some calls in the studio today. But what she said was very pertinent. I mean, she's really on fire, and what she's saying is not different from what we know. It's not different. I don't know what kind of a country or people or leaders. Sometimes it's hard. It's really hard that when we look at issues like this, we can change our focus. But like on the Pan-African Daily TV, we look for solutions. The challenges are always gonna be there. We can hear all, even in the world today where they are, but we're not focused about the world. We just don't want to get distracted. We want to talk about us, focus about us. What is it that we can do to ameliorate, to better our situations, and our people, and our continent? Of course, we also know that the Western system has been a system that is built on just, some values that had been for so long, giving a sense of direction as if everything goes right. But never, let's not be fooled that they have their own challenges, and very big challenges, as a matter of fact. Now, the idea is just imagine we shut down Africa. And so probably some nations in the West would take us seriously, isn't it? And then even us, we Africans, like saying taking blood or all these things, to be honest with you, if we are shut down, we would create all those things. We don't even need to go and learn how to do chocolate somewhere. Because we've never had the need to even eat chocolate. If we had that need in Africa, we'll eat it. We eat those nuts, even the coconut fresh. And it's still another form. It's just that they now dilute it and process it, and then it becomes something else. But we eat them. We eat them raw. We put them in tea. We drink them. It's the same way of consumption, even if it's not really, in the format that we have it here. So I think it's just a diverse format. Every other thing that they're doing for us, we have it. But the question is still, because I'm loving this idea, what if we shut down Africa? Shut down Africa. Put the 55 or 54 head of state in one hall. We start first with them. So it's possible if the whole world can shut down. we don't see. In Germany, nobody's doing anything. Can't even visit a neighbor. And even the police is really like, you know, all eyes now, and they can even suspect if there's a gathering somewhere and you're going to pay a very high fine. Because as said, the figures are rising, and so we need to protect one another. Africa is open. Some countries are respecting, some not. We saw in Cameroon the other day there was a whole, football tournament going on. A lot of people, thousands of people in the stadium. It's just like as if we're not living on planet Earth out here, So yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can develop our own medicines. How the Chinese do it? Now you go even to Africa, in most of the shops or the marketplaces, they sell Chinese herbs. It's not just only Chinese tin tomatoes or whatever, you know. And most of these herbs, they take it from us. Just go reprocess it and bring it back. And then they call it Chinese. That's also another problem. They come, they take the raw materials. They take our gold and diamond, platinum, even just our wood, our timber. But now when they produce the furnitures, it is made here. Now, where is the not just, we don't want to take about the property, the legal rights of it, but the origins of it. The origin, so shouldn't it, so like every other thing, the gold they wear, should it be made in Africa, right? Because they process it and industrialize it in their companies, then it's made here. So these are all things that is just unfair, and we keep asking, how on earth can we not see stuffs coming like this? How? Oh, it's a shame. And so as I read from the comments that some of you are saying here, it is. It is. We can't. We cannot. We're just so vulnerable. We are good at nothing, but uh, good at everything, but not good at talking about leadership. Okay, and so I don't know. I don't know. It is annoying. Yes, of course it is. It is annoying. Yeah, Emma is saying, let's get Dr. Arikana back as Africa Union chairperson and get good progressive members around her, some of from the diaspora and some from the mother continent, to push their leaders to do the right work. Yes, Emma, why not? That's what we've been working for. That's what we've been agitating. That's why we've been advocating. Is it going to be like that? But if you look at those of you who watched the show of yesterday, they got there. But then what happened? They had the Pan-African Congress, like we heard from Dr. Jeffries said, and they invited 48 countries and members, and they sat down in this parliament. They were represented, even the diaspora. But then what happened? And that's what we would like to discuss with him next Thursday. He already confirmed to us that he will be coming here on a series. We want to get a lot of this information from them, from Professor James Small, from Dr. Kaba, all of them. We want to get all these assets that they're having in terms of knowledge. We want to produce them here on the Pan-African Daily TV, put it on our saver. In case of anything, this information is served. Okay? So that what we do on the Pan-African Daily TV with all these conversations, talking about that, we don't read books. Do you? Don't read books. So now, and the world is, I don't see the generation of today with the technology that they will really be able to sit down and read some books. You see, the media system is evolving so fast, and the 5Gs means the world turns at a 5 rate. I put it in a very local format. If it used to rotate just 1, 2, 3, 4, which we were, and now it's 5, you can imagine. So how many young people are concentrated on reading books? We're producing all these productions and getting make this book, this live book, and they leave the information here, and we're going to save it, and we're no longer here. They're going to reproduce it and put it on their TikToks and could be able to listen something. This is a luxury we never had. This is a luxury, I think, even the president that never had, or if they had, if they were growing up. If we had these stories documented and recorded in this format in which young people can consume it, in which they can cut just a piece of it and listen, okay, now it's time to wake up. I think we should be going very far. And that's why we do these productions every day. Be aware, we don't want to create another kind of a mainstream media just to report news. We want to tell the story from an African perspective. We want to learn who were we, who were our ancestors, what kind of things they did, how could we get back to them, because we've just been like assimilated into the Western system in which we can breathe. We cannot breathe. Now is the time that we're waking up, and those that have been woken, like the Dr. Jeffries, all these scholars and experts, particularly the diaspora. Too much respect that I have for the diaspora. Yes, we were left on the continent, we were colonized on the continent, but it's not like you were ripped off and taken into slavery and walked out there. That's why sometimes I get so pissed off. Honestly, forgive my language. I really get mad when I see continental Africans that have relocated to America and they begin to disrespect their brothers and sisters out there. It, it is not a story that you're hearing from me today, isn't it? We all know it. Even Professor James Small had made, I think 6 years ago, 2016, made a whole conversation on it. Like we see our brothers from the continent come and they're just like, oh, you see these Black Americans, some of them are lazy. That's why they're where they are. And it's hard, because if you know what your brothers did, what they went through, the pains, and we sat, yes, we were also colonized. They brought their religion and everything to us, and hampered it on us. But you can imagine a child that is ripped off from the parents and thrown to work, and you don't know anything. You don't even know where you came from, and all this confusion. So if any continental Africa that has had a scholarship or is doing anything in the Americas, and you get the chance, please just think about those that fought to even allow for that system to allow the Black man to sit in a classroom. Think about the fathers out there and the mothers that gave out their lives. Just even sitting on the bus. Today we ride in Uber. Today we drive even, I mean, yeah, I see my brothers out there, hey, they cruise, you know. But then when I hear some of these feedbacks, and these are all things that we need to address. Because for me, I'm not saying that all of us, we're really competent, we're good. But I see that because the diaspora taken out of Africa, like all these scholars, these professors, they have the reality, they have the double sight, they have the true picture how we can develop Africa. Because they understand the system here and they know where they're coming from. Even on the continent, we'll be saying, yes, if you come to Africa, like all the motivational and inspiration, or the bloggers that are out there, or those that have been there, we try to show their experience. And they keep warning us like, yeah, if you come back to motherland, know how you behave, know that you have to do. That's not a problem. We will get used to. How did we get used to, adhering, learning foreign languages, getting their nationality, learning how to respect their norms and cultures? How did we do that? And we outperform in those things. I mean, if you see the way Africans roll German and English, and even they speak the dialect, they call it Schwäbisch, then you ask yourself, we are truly genius. So, but if we can do that in 6 months, it's an obligation for you to learn the German language. I take this particular case because Germany, I respect Germany and its values if they want you to do what they want. I respect the strong culture of their language. Before you meddle and they could give you a status here, you must have, they call it fedin. You earn it. You understand? But why not we? If we can perform and we come, we have to learn the language, we learn their system, we're performing. Most of us are politicians, they work in high end, in their cooperatives as managers. If you go to like Daimler, you have African managers, But how on earth can we not master our own system? So sometimes when we say, when we're coming back to the continent, oh, you have to be careful, or you don't have to bring your, no, we'll do that. Let's just get back there. We'll handle all this thing. It's not a problem. We're not going to be looking, are we afraid that our children are going to be looked upon at their color or their kinky hair? No, that's not what we'll be talking about. Because we're so distracted with all these other agendas, makes us not focus. You would definitely agree with me. We don't. We're not having a head straight. We're busy working on other things. We're busy minding the business of who thinks that I have a broad nose, who thinks that my afro is provocative enough, who thinks that I'm loud, who thinks that my body language is so it's provocative that I cannot just sit and just talk like, ladies and gentlemen, and that, we're busy about all these agendas that they put us on, that we're not focused. We're so distracted, busy talking about race, how they say, oh, I'm black. And then we're busy saying, oh, I'm black and proud. Cause try to justify and give us. Just imagine that on the continent we don't have all this. We're not gonna have this. Who says what? Who doesn't say what? Who is cooking fish that stinks? And we used to. Here, they're not gonna see that. And they're like, he cooked some fish that stinks, and he's eating some fufu, and they're loud. And the way they're always just happy. Why they even happy when they're so poor? And the way they always gather. And what are they even talking, as a matter of fact? And they say you laugh like, what are you laughing? Why are you always laughing? Because it's just not normal. From the stories, from the narratives that have been pushed out here, why should an African just laugh? Why are you happy? You're happy, and people are like, what? Happy? Go back to poor Africa and be happy there. You see, so when we focus on really us on the continent, I think we'll have a lot of things to do with, and we'll have time to fix this thing, because we'll not be looking who is black, who is not black, or are my neighbors safe? Are they not safe? We'll spend time with our leaders talking about our things that we're talking about today. So one thing, respect for our brothers who have been through all these challenges of slavery, systematic. I mean, they're the only ones that can really tell us. What can we tell? And now they have to deal with all this load, generation upon trauma and everything. We all know the stories. Today, when we talk about Nkrumah, how he wanted to develop Africa through Pan-Africanism, I mean, I still just like, I think when we will go back home and we will sit down, and our brothers from the diaspora in the Caribbean, in Brazil, in Haiti, and those that were taken into slavery in Americas, and they start telling us these experiences. Wow. Telling you, we have a lot just even to know about these things. Who tells you on the continent people even know that? Until I was here, slavery meant nothing to me, as a matter of fact. To be honest with you, there's some vocabulary that when we say it on the continent, it's just like another word that I just heard. So connecting and uniting ourselves on the Pan-African Daily TV is one of the biggest achievements that I think we have done, that you have done. And there's just too much misunderstanding. You can understand. You get what I'm trying to say. Imagine the high standard of our mindset and all what we've learned from different cultures. And we want to communicate it with the organic, original Africans that just live their life, just do the things that they know they do. So that our mindset, even though we keep saying our problem is our mind, when we're doing the shows and the conversations here, those in the diaspora, we understand the consciousness. Some, not all of us, as a matter of fact. But on the continent, consciousness even it's just, what is it? Some, very few. Very few. So we have work to do. Our leadership, our languages, our culture. So what we should be learning, what I learned from Germany, I cannot lie to you. What I learned from Germany is I see how Germans could be so, how do I want to say, so disciplined in imposing their culture, their language on anybody that thinks has an advantage to be in Germany. How can Germans or even Americans make us refuse ourselves and are proud to be called Germans? How? That is still what I sit and I develop in my mind. And I think you, my dear brothers and sisters, dear Africans, should be thinking the same thing. Maybe we should not only talk about they did this to us, but let us look at what power and what systems they put to do that, if they did. You understand? I still do a lot. I walk quietly and observe too much. I'm 20, 21, 22 years in Germany, but I observe too much because the one thing that is still beating my imagination is how could one single person like Hitler, control the whole masses? How could Napoleon Bonaparte, how did they do that? It is what I still try. Why is it that if I'm working with a German and if he says it's 8 o'clock, I'm there 8 o'clock. But if it was an African there gives me 8 o'clock, I would be there 10 o'clock. You know, why? What is it? What is just it that if it is my African brother and sister telling me, Susan, you know what? This, and I would not hear. But if it is some other Munzungu that will be standing here and telling me, and I would just be just professional. What is it? What is that magic? What is that magic? So respect among ourselves, respect for people that have laid down their lives. It doesn't matter what they are. We say, oh, they are hip hoppers, oh, they're drugs, this, oh, they're this. Hey, I bet you, give that history out there to any other nation and watch if they even would be normal people. If it's not by the DNA of our forefathers that we just who we are, give our history to any other race, and then let's sit and have this conversation together. We should not underestimate these things. We should not take it for granted. And so we should not take ourselves for granted. And honestly, I'm really addressing this. Coffee, you are hearing me. You know these things that I'm talking about. You guys out there, the continental Africans, we've been having a lot of reports and setbacks. I'm always also there. Even in Europe, it's the same. But because we don't really have that generation of slaves here in Europe, in the Americas or in the Caribbean, it's a talk of the day, or in the Brazils, in Haiti, in Mexico, whatever, wherever our footprints are. And so we expect us from the continent to just maybe listen. We would develop faster if we know these stories, because now we see the scholars coming up with all this research. Why? Because they took that time to find out, who am I? But on the continent, you don't take that time to find out who you are, because you're just you. You're there, right? And so our history, I think, from the point of view, I got a comment on someone saying, Susan, now we have to divert the guests. And I say, yes, fine. Enough respect for that. But you know what? When somebody has been taken, ripped off his history, his geography setup, and he start wanting to find out who he is, he will learn the better way. He learns the better way. It's like our children that were born out here, we tell them the African history, they will learn better than the ones on the continent, because there's just no reason for them to learn. Oh, in Egypt was like, they know it in the Bible. Egypt, Jerusalem. We ask our parents if we know Jerusalem doesn't exist. Yeah. Doesn't. Because the Bible has just put all these factors and make it an illusion over the skies. And if you ask, our mothers will be singing and dancing in the churches, but I bet you, Jerusalem, they know it's not on earth. It's not existing. The Israel, like we say, and it's Egypt. And even though we read those Bible, when I used to be, we read those Bible and like Egypt, he left from Egypt. And Egypt, where is it? In Africa. Just some small little things that we ignore. We actually don't see that value, but we want to touch the bigger things. We want to touch every other thing. Every other thing matters, as a matter of fact, but maybe we should just start before we go to bottom top. How do we start from a top bottom? How do we start from bottom top? What are the things that we do, just us as families, us as Africans, us as in our community? And we will start seeing that when we solve these other little problems, to handle the top could be much easier. Because even us now, it's not easy. We are not easy. Let us agree. We're not easy. Even us, yes. So good. I think I have been keeping us and motivating in some kind of like encouraging us. What should we do on a Friday evening when we had an honorable guest here? Thank you so much. Let me pick up this call. Hello, brother.
Hello, hello,
Hello, Mashal.
hello.
Yes.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
What's up? What's up? Wow. Well, it's a challenge. Dr. Jaja, well, I hope he comes on Sunday. Well, I hope he really. Whew. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it happens. Well, what I can encourage, what I can say is that much been said about those who those who lead lead, right? Those who lead. There's much been said about that. But I believe this young generation, or the young generation should prepare themselves to lead and to make a change, because that's been going on for a long time. New leadership is the problem. Leadership this. So I believe this generation, young generation, should prepare themselves to get into leadership position and make a difference. Right?
Correct.
Yes, I think so. I think that's important. They must prepare themselves. Okay, they're going to school now. Some of them are learning, and they must learn and get their degree, whatever they have to get, be it lawyer, whatever, accountant, finance minister, every field possible, so that when they can put themselves together as a party or parties, they can be strong and prepared to lead and make a change. Okay, so that's my word for now.
Thank you.
That's my word for now.
Thank you, Lawrence.
That's
Thank
my
you so
prayer.
much. Yes,
My
that's
prayer.
that's our prayer that the young people lead. But it's a question that I think I heard from a brother last time, and also we've been thinking about that. Do we really think, honestly? It's just I just throw it out there. Just think about it. Don't trust my word, but just think about it. When we look at this setup on the continent, and we look at the leadership, to be honest with you, I think no matter how prepared our young leaders are, if they don't have the European experience, if they don't have the knowledge of the West, not just knowledge in learning, but the experience in dealing with them, it would be difficult. It doesn't matter what kind of leadership. If we see leaders on the continent that have just been evolving only on the continent, maybe have had contacts with the diaspora, and you tell me that leader will sit down and negotiate with a foreign partner. Negotiation? I doubt it. Because of the mindset, because of the knowledge of the Western culture and their way of doing business, they will still fall in those traps. So when we say, like the Kwame model was like, take these young people, let them study the system. It's the same thing like they send their expatriate, Peace Corps, whatever agent, non-profit. And what are they doing on the continent? They're not just putting projects, they're studying us. They're learning our languages. They're learning our emotions. They're learning our cultures and our dances. They are researching everything. So why we just sit and sometimes think they just coming to develop, how they coming to develop the knowledge of how and who an African is, how vulnerable an African is. What does an African think? How does he see white? How does he consume? What is it that makes him excited? An African is full of himself, likes to wear, look good. Yes. So how can I tap into that? What is it that I can sell? So honestly, the leadership, we're talking about leadership. But let us be aware the young leaders that we're saying, one of the fundamental that they must have is to get trainings from this kind of conscious Africans that have known it on the continent and in the diaspora. Then we can be sure they would negotiate. They would negotiate, particularly in terms of this kind of, mishmash African that we're still in. An African that doesn't understand the way of doing business with a Chinese will not negotiate, because we are people to people. By the first time they come in, they already know it. They know that, oh, I need to just bring them money. So if money is what makes us excited, oh, I need to take, them out for tea party. I need to take them to a club, and then they talk business in a club on a bottle of whiskey. We need to invite them. You see all these African conferences, be it you hear today UK Africa Summit, or Russia Africa Summit, or German Africa Summit, or this, and you see all our head of state. It has never taken place in Addis Ababa. Has never taken place in even in Yaoundé. It takes place out of the continent. Why? Why? Maybe just because they would take them, put them in their skyscrapers, just kind of like confuse them with some, show them some spas that, and we're distracted. And they show you some properties, and like, no, you can have it here. We take care of the taxes and everything. So it doesn't matter whether they studied and they have been there, they only come for visit on these meetings and go. I think the diaspora, that's why the ADDI, I still think, is a fundamental. The diaspora have it all. They've known the continent, they know the West, and we know the mindset. Not all, but the specialists, particularly in terms of culture, intercultural, negotiation techniques. These are things we cannot mess up with, because if we're dealing with the continent of Africa, we have to look at it as a business, as a company. We're all saying it. And if you're a company and you are like a manager, the leaders are the CEOs or the managers operating and running the affairs of the African continent, and they're sitting on the negotiation table to negotiate with their European counterparts, and you cannot negotiate at a winning point when he already funds you, you lose your face. It's as simple. So negotiation techniques, without understanding what my partner wants from me, I will sell at no price. He can only just throw a bone, and I will run chasing the bone while they're getting the minerals. So I think leadership, yes, but what kind of leadership? How competent are they? How do they know the Western agendas? These are very critical points that our young leaders must know. Of course, if not, it's going to be the same thing. How do you think they get to them? How do you think? The European is not bad, but they negotiate in the point of their interest. And of us, if we just think, oh, no, they're going to come, put us a railway and do us this, and we think that's good enough, they're just giving you a dime and they take the whole thing away. Negotiation, we can talk about economic liberation and everything. Any leadership on the continent that doesn't have the consciousness that we're talking about, knowing both, I think it's a big challenge. It is. They're going to kick the old man, but they will put the same young person and they'll be pushing the same agenda. And come think what? Why the young? Because they have another 70 years to keep him there and manipulate and steal and negotiate at a win-lose. Yes. So there's just a lot. There's just really a lot of things that we need to consider when we're talking about changing and developing, and how we want and how we blame and stuffs like that. Look at even the way we agitate among ourselves, even us in the diaspora. If they will say elect a leader, probably we'll be electing them now from our emotions because they speak well. Talk well is not all about that. No. Track record of management and dealing with people, because the most thing that I know that is so difficult to do is to deal with humans. You see how the world can't manage. And that's one of the key and the biggest resources that we Africans have. Thank you so much, Nature Speaks, for contributing. I think our queen also had contributed. Phil, Reggie Phil is always just on spot, just I mean anointing. I'm gonna use some of those terms, anointing my voice and say, Susan, keep on, keep on. Thank you so much for your contribution. And if you haven't, please do it. I told you on every show, please, on every show, make sure that we just have $100. 100 pounds. Yes, just make sure. And one other thing I want to apologize. I think I've had some comments of people saying that um that we that they tried to donate to the GoFundMe and the money keeps coming back. Can somebody testify that? Because that's the only link that we're even looking for. I think even the PayPal link should be open now because upon all the verifications and everything, I got a notification today that it has been verified, and so we can give donations into that account. Please make sure you donate. Technica, can you share the GoFundMe and the PayPal link into the chat? Thank you very much. So yes, thank you for donating, and you can also donate through our super chat. And I also thank those that are always reminding me, like Susan, keep repeating that we need to give, particularly for the satellite, because we are focused on a lot of things. I am not the branding of the marketing the funds. I'm just here to host. And like today, if we don't have a host or technique, I cannot just leave you guys on a 2-hour show that was programmed. I have to bring something. We always have this inspiration to share. And that's why I said the lines are open. You can call and make a contribution. And let's keep these 2 hours going. I owe you that, right? And that's why I'm sitting here. Guess or no guess, Susan has to deliver. Efwa. Nana Efwa Tata has to deliver. Yes. So I thank you. I thank all of you. Can we cash up Dr. Tata? Cash up would be available from next week because we had Zelle, we had Cash App, we had GoFundMe, and then we had the PayPal. And out of a sudden, because of tracking verification and they're scared that we're becoming too fast and they don't want us to get the satellite. They started, the Zelle had a problem of verification or testification, whatever it is. PayPal at the same time also had it, and then so that's why even we're happy to have super chat here on YouTube, and so you can also donate to super chat. Yes. Good. So it is good. Like I said, negotiations are very important. And I see indications in the chat saying, yes, exactly, they are. Thank you so much. Somebody saying, I will send 50 euros. Thank you. Woo-hoo. Yes. Send 50 euros. Send 1,000. Send 100. You know why? Because, hey, the programs are coming up, but we need this sponsorship. Susan, me, Nana Tata Efwa, I need a private sponsor for me. And then we have the sponsorship for the Pan-African Daily TV. And then we have it for the satellite. These 3 sectors are very important. So if you're ready, ask me what are the criteria to sponsor Dr. Susan Tata. And I will give you those criteria. And so we're looking for one of the 5 riches, not just riches in terms of material. We're talking in terms of mindsets and everything. And I will select the ones that I want them to be my private sponsor. What does that mean? A lot of us are just so engaged trying to do these things. And we have to work. We have to take care of everything in the name of volunteering. It is hard. I can guarantee you, without a passion to do this, none of us, but we want to work for our continent. We want to work for I've been having seminars with women groups and even organizations that are really, they want to work, but they can't jungle between a lot of things. So why don't we have this sponsorship? put us on a sponsorship role. Me, Susan, I need a sponsor for me, and I would deliver. The satellite project is for us, the continent. It is not for me. The Pan-African Daily TV, we need to get the village belt. We need to get the 55 newsroom of the 55 countries and the diaspora. We need a village just for the Pan-African Daily TV or the Pan-African media, so that all of us can begin to assemble there. And this village, we're going to negotiate with our queens and kings and royals on the continent. They should be able to give us land to put the Pan-African TV there. And this will put all the newsrooms. And we're going to put Ashpa, we're going to put even our Pan-African Daily, Pan-African Institute there, where we have to, curate and train our young people on the leadership that we want. We want to get, we want to drive tourism, the whole world, to look at that. And it is coming up. We have architecture that are already trying to put us a plan. And so we need these 3 categories of sponsorship. Sponsor me as Nana F4, aka Dr. Susan Tata. I need a sponsor for me. I need a sponsor for the Pan-African Daily TV. Like I said, it's already going in another format. I think we'll have a queen on the continent. Then the village and the construction of that Pan-African TV is going to be an first class. Nothing we're going to use from the West. We're going to use our natural materials to construct that village. Be a come and see, whether we're using our bamboos, whether we're using our raffias, it's going to be authentic and just original the way it is. You put your foot there, you wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Yes. We want to train our journalists there. We want to train our young people there how to take leadership and everything. And it is done because we're going to use our natural materials to build this whole village. We're not going to take anything from China. We're going to use our young people who are in the villages who can mold these bricks. We did it. Growing up with my father, we built all our houses in the village. The neighbors would only maybe rally to help the others, but we did it. Because we had the earth, the red earth, we had it. So everyone would just till its earth and we mix it into some kind of water and we put the bricks. And you see this red walls, and sometimes it is dusty and smells so good. And later on, yeah, maybe as the zinc started coming when I was growing up, those were now. But if we look at in the past, we see even the raffias that they use, and everything was perfect. We didn't have to go and buy some cement. We're not going to buy any cement. We're going to use just that. Okay, maybe we could say we do the burn brick system, but we're going to use our natural things. We have the bamboos that are just there. Nobody is using them. We have the raffias. All these natural materials. We're going to build a Pan-African TV village. We don't know now which country we're going to put the headquarters in, or where it's going to take, but we know that there will be branches everywhere. But we know that that village is going to be a massive complex representing the 55 countries and the diaspora and all the facilities in it. So you can be an investor. We're going to present the plan. It's a cheap one, because that's what is always happening. When we say we want to raise funds, we start bringing some kind of skyscrapers, futuristic, whatever, and they want to work with the Chinese. And then we keep complaining. Oh, yeah, we don't want to do business with China. Or we're going to take their loans and say that, no, we want to develop Africa. Even if you're a black man, you still go and take those loans from them to develop Africa. Anyway, I mind my business. But what I'm saying is we have to learn to start using our natural materials to get what we want. And our young people are ready to just be there and build it. And we will build that village, guaranteed. That is my own project, to build the Pan-African Daily TV, the media that will work for us, the media that will report from an African perspective, the media that the diaspora would have to travel home to train these young leaders about these Western systems. Tell me which university on the continent or even primary schools teach our children about the West. Tell me. In their systems and in their school curriculum, they teach their children from the nursery about Africa. which school in Africa teaches our children, like just a subject matter. You know, we tell them about their cultures, tell them their way of doing business, tell them this. We don't. But then the whole system, you know, like not from an African perspective, is being taught to us through their curriculum. It has to change. And believe me, I don't want to talk about, Susan, some people text me and like, you know what? Hey, Susan, you know, we're talking this thing like, you be careful with what you say. No, I'm not careful. Because to be honest with you, I don't just even think that it is important what we'll be doing with our lives to any white man or to any European. Sometimes we just push things too far. And that's why I said it is necessary for us to take the leaders, whether they were murdered or they were killed or they were incarcerated. It is wrong. It is so bad. What is the strategy that they use that may be provoked, that may be aroused? But our strategy, imagine I don't see me going me to the village, doing my agriculture there to feed my people, and then I think that somebody's going to come and say, oh, you're developing your people. They've been doing. So sometimes we fear some things that we should be doing that we're not doing. Let us start doing it. And the first project that we're going to put without taking any loan is the Pan-African TV. I've watched and I've listened to all the projects and everything. And we've hosted all of them here. At the end of the day, I still ask, if we still have to do these things, what is the difference? Yes, we need to put our monies together. We would need some small funding. But because we are able people, we have the manpower. Young people on the streets in the villages in Africa just want to do something for their continent. They don't need you to even give them a salary. I know it. Talk to me. I'm a village girl. I know that. They help. They are happy and they are proud to do it. Where has it always become that it must be about money? It must be about pay. It must be about this. It is the Western agenda in our minds that everything that somebody has to do has to be like this. I went to Ethiopia thrice on a visit. That's the only one of the, everywhere that I go, I never saw, I gave tips. And they told me, no, thank you. We're serving our country. From the airport, in the airlines, and like you're just in the bar and you drink and you just want to give something out, and somebody, no, thank you, we're happy you're here. And I was like, wait a minute, where am I? Of course, it's not every African stories that we hear that people are begging or people are hungry or people, and even us Africans sell this story and we buy them at a cheap price. We buy it. So no, Africans are ready. Like I said, I need a sponsor for me, and I will deliver that project to you. Because I know a lot of young people that day and night, even on the Pan-African Daily TV, what can I do? I just want to do this. I don't want to do this. And they don't ask you for anything. So we should not put everything money. We should not put everything people. What is it that you can do for your own country and your nation? And you're proud. Asking somebody put me money in my hand. No. I'm happy being here. I've not asked for any salary for anybody to know. I don't need it. When I say I need a sponsor, I need time. I need time because that time is money. I want to thank my biggest sponsor here that is just supporting us with $50. Thank you so very much. Yeah, we're going to make the 100 tonight. We had five, and we still have some time to go. And I'm looking out there. Rachel, I see Rachel, my queen from Stuttgart. Rachel, you've not contributed. Rachel Binder, you've not contributed. Okay. Yeah. So it is good and said enough that women, like we were talking about the situation of women, a lot of women. The first time, just a small anecdote. The first time I did the first festival in Germany was 2007. And we cooked because we had a catering, we had to cater. The first thing we were surprised by the number of attendees on that first edition, 10th of August 2007. And we only put out a flyer that we didn't even know. We were just doing our thing and say, let Africa gather together because Germany, as you know, in those days, was that 2017, you could not see a lot of Africans on the street, particularly in the small cities where we were living. And so we like call out and give a shout out. Let's just gather, do our thing. It's so boring out here. You know what? 10,000 people came out, not Africans, because our percentage was very small. 80% were Germans to manage. And so we had cater, and later on the excitement that we had just getting people seeing us. We didn't even have musicians. We didn't even have a stage. We just had just some small things, and we were just playing our drums,